Hello everyone, welcome guys to another special video. We're talking again about the December update for Le Mans Ultimate, and we have spoken already about the cars and the tracks. That is not as much of interest for this video right now, as today we're talking about the upcoming features for Le Mans Ultimate. And guys, I think we should dive directly into the video. Let's listen to Stephen Hood again for a couple of sequences to see what is coming up for Le Mans Ultimate, dropping December 10th.
Hosted servers. Although we know you've been enjoying the skill-based matchmaking that race control events in daily, weekly and special events offer, sometimes you just want to race with friends or in organised leagues where your race control rank will not be affected. As previously announced, we've been working with our partners at SimGrid to develop racecontrol.gg to allow you to configure your servers on the race control infrastructure with differing costs based on the number of users you want to allow on your server. You will be able to determine whether your server should be in the public list or not. Meanwhile, lobby codes can be used so that you can share just a 5-character code that will both find and enter the password for a user. Simpler to join and share than ever before. For league administrators, we're happy to also announce that users can directly utilise all of the tools on the simgrid.com that allow you to track entries, manage points, change results and much more, with the servers directly bootable from their website as well. For everyone else, the simple server tool on racecontrol.gg will fit the bill perfectly. Costs have been kept as low as possible, with prices published in different currencies that you'll be able to see very soon.
So hosted servers is the first thing that we're going to talk about, and guys, this is a huge addition to the system because we have all this mourning and all this complaining about we're just having the daily races. It's always the same, it's just a little bit of abbreviation left, right and center, but generally like everything is so repeatedly coming. Finally, we can define our own stuff. And hosted servers is a big deal for me personally because I gotta say, like, herewith I can finally announce to offer coachings on Le Mans Ultimate with the hosted feature, the hosted server feature. So if you guys want to improve your driving, if you guys would like to see a coaching session together with me, write me an email, simracing@michi-hoyer.com. and name me the car and track that you want to go. Let's find a date together where we can conduct the coaching, and then I happily, finally, hopefully be able to 100% give the service that you guys wanna receive. I need to check out a little bit on how this effectively works, but for sure we will be able to conduct our coachings in the way we usually did on R-Factor 2 finally on Le Mans Ultimate. So that is great indeed. Furthermore though, this is a game changer also for independent leagues, something that has not been run by SimGrid, something that's not been run by Studio 397 directly or Motorsport Games. I name Virtual Endurance Championship, P1 Gaming, GBVWC, FSR, whatever. Whoever wants to go in to Le Mans Ultimate, create either multi-class racing or a single-class sprint racing, or with the hosted feature session, we can now create races besides the daily races. The server costs, we see the picture right here. Server costs are to be paid in so-called credits, server credits. And as far as I understand, Ben Russett the Turner set on the Discord, 25 credits for 1 hour for up to 20 drivers, 50 credits for 1 hour for up to 38 drivers, and 100 credits for 62 drivers for 1 hour. So you can go through that in your mind to run a 24-hour race at Le Mans with 62 people, 62 drivers. You'll need like €7.5 or $7.5 we see in the screenshot, times 4.5-ish. It is a significant amount of money still for a 24-hour server, but again, I think it is absolutely worth it. Like, we get a key modification and a key personalization tool here as we are finally able to get the hosted servers. But let me know what you think about this, guys. Put it down in the comments area below. Hosted servers, pricing tags, flexibility with it, pros and cons. I'm curious about your opinion. Let me know down in the comments area below, and let's dive into the next feature that's coming to Le Mans Ultimate on December 10th. But guys, before we dive into more updates, if you appreciate this video, you know the game, give this video a like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, ring the bell, don't miss out on more videos regarding updates and news in the sim racing world, especially about Le Mans Ultimate.
Number 4. Broadcast overlays and spectate mode. Since you will now be able to enjoy private servers, we're pleased to include spectate mode to the game so that you don't have to join as an active driver. Additionally, we've created a broadcast overlay in the FIA World Endurance Championship style, so you and your league can broadcast to your preferred streaming platform. The broadcast overlay outputs to HTML outside of the game and can be used as a transparent layer in most streaming tools, for example OBS. As an advanced user feature, we will provide a user guide on how to configure and get the most from it.
So the broadcast overlay tool goes hand in hand with the custom servers and the hosted servers through the SimGrid system. However, from a personal point of view, and this is once again where I would like to have your guys' opinion on, you know my current stream layout with the RaceLab apps. That is working a fortune. I think it is like really informative. It may not look like the WEC overlay, but I think it carries more information, easier for me to display towards you, easier for you to catch on a going race. But still, I would like to have your opinion, guys. Put it down in the comments. We may do a poll on our community page as well. Would you rather want to see the TV overlay being used during a live stream, also on our stream, showing positions, gaps, and so on? Or would you rather would like to keep it just as it is, because we have a lot of information, may also be too much information, but it is very much easier for you guys to catch the information going on in the race. Put it down in the comments area below. And now we're looking at the next feature, which is going to be a big one.
Number 5. Online championships and subscriptions. Our optional subscription, Race Control Pro, is about to go live. We've worked incredibly hard to maximise value whilst keeping prices as low as possible. Players signed up to the service will enjoy enhanced online competitions among other benefits. This will fund the server and administration costs necessary to provide an elevated experience, which will continue to grow. An additional subscription tier will also be made available. Race Control Pro Plus unlocks all Le Mans Ultimate DLC and everything from Studio 397, yes, including R Factor 2, for as long as your subscription is active. Both monthly and annual plans are available, with the latter providing a sizable discount whilst in early access.
So, a subscription service. Now, I'm gonna stop this here real quick and I'm gonna show the overall overview of what is going to be included in whatever package. And then we once again decide, and I know that this is going to be a big deal for everyone. I know this is going to be a big discussion point throughout the community. Is a subscription model the right way to go, especially for a game that is arguably right now not yet in a V1.0 condition? I'll leave that for discussion. I'll happily join it, put it in the comments. I know I keep saying put it in the comments, but there is just so much that we need to talk about right now. Because this is a big deal. As you can see here in the overview, Online Championships is a new game mode that is coming to Le Mans Ultimate. And I think for those of you that complained about a little bit too repetitiveness, too much repetitiveness on the daily races or on the weekly races, that might be an interesting feature, getting into race control and having an addition on the features in the race or in the Le Mans Ultimate platform. Personally, for me, it's going to be interesting to have the extended registration, because that makes me just able to like further plan ahead, already having things notes down. And I'm also looking forward to see the kind of performance reports and wonder what they might contain. No information on that right now. Hopefully, as soon as we come towards the release, we know a little bit more about it. But, and this is the reason why I cut in here already, Race Control Pro Plus. And please guys, don't get me wrong, this is no paid advertising or whatsoever. This is just pure facts. $84 on the annual plan. I think it equals around 78 euros or something. That means €6.50 per month for all available DLC on R Factor 2, on Le Mans Ultimate, most importantly, for the time you are subscribed. That is astonishingly cheap, because on iRacing you pay 78 euros a year for even having just the access to the simulation, and then you buy every car for $15 and every track for $12, or the other way around, I don't care. You now have the chance to own and use every ever published DLC from Studio 397 for both Le Mans Ultimate and R Factor 2 for an annual fee of 78 euros, $84. That is the biggest bargain. I have once done a video on what kind of DLC you should get for R Factor 2. And if you got all DLC, if you wanted to get all DLC, and even with buying smart with the packages, you would have had to spend 350-ish euros, I think, or 300 something. Which means, in hindsight, you could be 4 years subscribed to Race Control Pro until the subscription becomes more expensive than the pass, or than the Race Control subscription. That said, that only goes for R Factor 2. Additionally, you still have Le Mans Ultimate, where I assume there will be content coming every year. You know, 2025 cars, 2026 cars, maybe new tracks. You never know what's going to come. We also don't know what else might come to the subscription model. So lean back, think about it for a moment, and let me know down in the comments area below, as usual, what you think about the subscription level. Right or wrong, too expensive, too cheap, not giving you any added value, because maybe like me, I own 89% of all R Factor 2 DLC. Let me know what you think as we dive back into more features coming for Le Mans Ultimate.
Online Championships is for players that want more from their online experience, battling for supremacy in the Le Mans Ultimate ranking tables. These races are less frequent than daily races, on particular days of the week, across different time zones, with a limited number of entries per week, depending upon the difficulty of the championship. Some of them are one shot only, just like real life, no pressure. You will register for the championship you want to enter and are required to commit to a particular car throughout the season, so make sure you're happy with your choice. There are also additional standings for results that you can see that showcase the players in your selected nation, a driver rank league of closely matched drivers to your skill, your friends, and even the manufacturer league, where you can be the fastest for that particular mark. If you want to be the fastest van wheel driver in the game, go right ahead. We'll also prioritise driver reports in these championships to ensure fair racing. We will be using these championships in future to run competitions, including esports series like Le Mans Virtual Series, and for our partners. Other race control subscription benefits include the ability to register and access practice servers for all daily races in the schedule, so that you can choose to practice and participate only in the races that matter to you. There's more benefits coming in future. Watch this space. We hope you'll agree there's great value in this optional service. To sign up, visit racecontrol.gg or follow one of the in-game links.
So when looking at the championships coming to Le Mans Ultimate, you quite frankly get a reminder of the iRacing ecosystem, right? Like scheduled weeks, you have unlimited goes unless it is a special event or some endurance event that only goes on the weekend. But it is a bit more shared thinner on Le Mans Ultimate, like 2 attempts, maybe 3 attempts a week. That you can run max, and then you cannot sign up any further, which is like also an interesting way. Like on iRacing, of course, you could do one single type of race like 15, 20, 25 times a week. Whether that is great or not, meaningless or super important, is obviously a topic of discussion. However, I think, and once again, I'm interested in your opinion, that championships are going to be interesting in a longer period. Like, maybe they may lose some charm over the time, like, whenever a feature is new, everyone is all over it. But I'm really looking forward to actually use it. Like, we never had that really going on R Factor 2. Yes, we had the competition system that somewhat offered the series, but after all, it was like it never evolved to the next level, right? And I think this is changing now here. Here we get a next level championship with new features, with new styles, with new restrictions, with so many new things. Like, you lock in your car, you only get a certain amount of runs. Like, it is a specific time slot where the race is going. That means we will really see those esports splits happening, the high SOF race, call it whatever you want. That's going to be very, very interesting. How much of that is in the end going to be used for like real championships, for qualifying for esports events and whatnot, remains unknown. I really want to see that happening at first before just blindly be like, oh yes, Le Mans Virtual Series is coming right now, let's go. I don't think it is that close, so let's see. There's another tease, of course. We would be looking forward. We would love to see Le Mans Virtual Series being done with the ecosystem on Le Mans Ultimate, but I think there is still a little bit way to go. Anyway, that are the key improvements, the key new features to Le Mans Ultimate drop in December 10th, but there is still more to come, and that is something everyone will be particularly interested about.
Additional improvements. We made some significant improvements to loading times in this release, particularly for lower and mid-spec machines. We estimate the improvement to be around 30% or more. Additionally, there are frame rate improvements to be found, such as at race starts due to reduced memory loads. There was a UI hotfix in November that has solved AMD memory leaks, and there are other general performance improvements for most users, and those will be added to this release. In the physics department, apart from the GT3 work already mentioned, we also made some subtle changes to the braking. Locking up is now more realistic and less likely. We also adjusted the tyres to have a small amount of extra grip at higher speeds, with a less aggressive drop-off when only just over the limit.
Wait, what? You guys bringing a new tyre model? Hang on a second. So we need to speak about this. So, changes to the braking that lockups are less likely and feeling more natural. I'm interested in that, especially for the GTEs on the front axis, for the hypercars on the rear axis. So I'm looking forward to those improvements alongside the ABS that we've already talked about for the LMGT3 cars. But the tyre, allowing a little bit more grip in high speeds, and what I also read out of that message, more stability, more forgivingness on the rear, less sudden deaths and snaps. That will have a significant impact on setups as we have done them so far. And I think when we have a new tyre model out, we will have to revise a lot of setups. For that reason, guys, bookmark www.improveyourlaptime.com, my setup shop, where the colleagues and me are starting to work pretty soon on updating all of the setups as fast as possible for the new release of that new tyre model. I assume it is a complete new tyre model, because you can't just like change 2 or 3 lines and be like, hey, the tyre is now more consistent, is now having more grip in the back. I think there was some serious development going on, and we're going to explore that as soon as Le Mans Ultimate gets updated on December 10th. We're going to run hypercars, we're going to run GTEs, we're going to run GT3s. I'm looking into an LMP2 car as well again. because new Tyre model means also maybe there are significant changes to all the other characteristics of every car running. That could be a pretty big deal. It could also bring back some more FFB. As far as I'm concerned, as far as I'm aware, the amount of FFB we get back through the game from the tires, the more grip and slip angle allowance there is on the tires, the more feedback you're going to have on the FFB. Which in hindsight, with those changes now being announced, could potentially mean there is also an improvement of the already state-of-the-art force feedback. We're looking forward to this. But there is even more coming, and I know that a lot of people that love running VR will be even more interested about the things that are coming now.
Virtual reality improvements have continued for this release. You'll now be able to launch directly into VR without adding parameters into this official beta release. You'll see we've added key bindings such as resetting your head position and changing world scale so that your experience is overall improved. The UI in VR is now also configurable, and there's a VR version of the HUD. There's still more work to be done, but we're happy many of you are enjoying the immersion offered by VR in Le Mans Ultimate. We have big things planned for VR.
That sounds very promising, doesn't it? Personally, as you know, I do not have any VR goggles whatsoever, so I can't really, have any opinion on it really. I leave that to you guys. But having a HUD inside the virtual reality world, having improvements, having a UI, kind of getting rid of the hidden option on the starting application to be configured in a certain way, that is a big improvement, and that means Le Mans Ultimate has now actual VR support. And I think that will drag in a lot of more people, getting a lot of more people from the fans into the game, and I'm really, really looking forward to that result and to that impact we're gonna have on 10th December with that update. Guys, thank you so much for watching. We're coming to the end of the video, certainly once again a long one, but I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have any questions, anything you'd like to mention, put it down in the comments area below. Let's get the discussion going, and don't forget, give the video a like, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe us on the YouTube channel, and make sure to ring the bell to not lose out on further updates as we're coming closer to the 10th of December 2024 with those updates hitting the system.